The mischievous lad in me would love to play a practical joke on one of my kids this Christmas, but it would be too cruel, I think. I'd even be willing to pay for the psychologist 20 years from now just for the laugh. But I think that hiding some coal in the stocking would be too much, or a firecracker, or a garden snake. It's not funny, is it? The soft lights, the bright eyes, the choir music. These are the days of comfort and joy. Summer birthdays are for hijinks and water balloons and maybe even a well-placed garden snake, but not Christmas. We exchange gifts at Christmas to celebrate God's great gift. He sent his Son down from heaven, and he was made man for us and for our salvation. The gift of Emmanuel, however, did not come without a measure of unhappiness. And this is no practical joke. We already know this. With the Christ child comes the wrath of God, and it doesn't matter whose side you're on. Whether you're on God's side or not, wrath comes to you because God comes to be with you. The idea, of course, is to be on God's side so that when wrath comes, he is with you, to receive it with you. You already know this. Attached to the story of the wise men coming to visit is the wrath of Herod, the king of Judea, who was threatened by the news of the coming of this long-prophesied son of David, and he sent, and he had all the young boys in the entire region systematically slaughtered. What had all those little boys done to deserve death? Had they played one practical joke too many already at the tender age of 2? Their mothers and their fathers wept in rage because the Christ child had come. What kind of unhappiness does the Christ bring to you? I don't know. That's your story, told by the angels in heaven. Also for Ahaz, Emmanuel was double-edged. The king was gazing north at a terrible threat. His own brothers in Samaria had made an alliance with Damascus, those dirty Gentiles, and the alliance was made known throughout the entire world. Samaria and Damascus were allied together to do the evil deed of dethroning Ahaz, the son of David. The king, the great leader of the people of God, the chief representation of God in the midst of the people, he who was backed by the promises of David for a son on the throne forever, he who had at his grasp the spear of Goliath, which David had taken off his dead body, along with his shield. Ahaz quailed and quaked like a kitten at the sound of thunder. God is none too pleased. Ask for a sign, God said, commanding Ahaz to essentially let him prove that he was a trustworthy God, that he is a God who keeps his promises. Ahaz glanced northward once more. Then he glanced inward, where faith should have been obedient. But there was nothing there. Nothing but fear. In the face of God, Ahaz said, "No, I will not let you prove that you are a trustworthy God." Unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on who you ask, Ahaz doesn't have that much power. Ahaz doesn't have the power to force God to break his promises. So God provides a sign that he is a trustworthy God. Emmanuel, with us, God. Because the king as a representation is just too chicken. God is coming, and if God is coming, then come what may, nothing can hurt us. Well, a lot can hurt us, and a lot can hurt God, but only to suit God's purposes to bring salvation to many. And then the hurt really is nothing. Ahaz, look further to the north. Assyria is coming. the king of Assyria, hears the call of God to bring wrath, and he is coming to pour it out against Damascus, those dirty Gentiles, and he is coming to pour it out against your own brothers in Samaria. Damascus and Samaria will never threaten the throne of David again. Rejoice! But Ahaz, Emmanuel brings unhappiness to you. Assyria will not stop with Samaria and Damascus. Wrath is coming to you, Ahaz, and to your people, because you were afraid and because you taught your people to abandon faith in the God of promises. What kind of gift is this? Only a gift from God can accomplish this. When God gives us salvation, it comes with holiness. When holiness finds sinfulness, holiness turns to wrath. It's like this. God announces to you one day that he's going to drop by the house. You are excited. So you invite him not only to drop by for a visit, but also to stay for supper. Use the front door, you say. God is coming to be with you. So you hustle and bustle, getting the stairs to the front door swept and clean, the entryway cleared of cobwebs, the vacuum on the good rug. Speaking of good, you get out the good china. God is with us, my friends. And you even get out the crystal vase you got for a wedding present from a rich uncle out west because he couldn't come to the wedding. And into it, you put roses. No, not roses, orchids. And you clean and scrub and you do everything necessary, just like John the Baptist told you to do, making mountains low and valleys high and all that. And you peer through the front window, which you just washed, waiting for God to arrive. And suddenly he's behind you, looking out the front window with you. You've got a sewage problem in your basement, he says. The presence of God always finds sin. The promises of God always find the Ahaz in us, the one looking north at all the reasons not to trust God, especially in these days of science and progress where every superstition has been blown away like so many cobwebs. So with superstition, we should also blow away trust in God to keep his promises when he seems so far away from us and our doom seems so near. That sewage problem is so bad, we're going to have to tear the whole house down, he says. What, now? The wrecking ball is already swinging, he says. But don't worry. I am with you. Who emerges from the rubble? Who emerges after the king of Assyria wrecks everything, burns down everything? Who emerges in your life after wrath comes to you? What is it for you? Secret sins or public sins? Did someone abuse you, or did you abuse a substance? Oftentimes, what we call mistakes are not mistakes, but willful sins. And where there are mistakes, oftentimes there's just the nature of sin, the stuff we can't control, willful or no. Who emerges from all that? Who emerges from the tomb after all those little boys were slaughtered, after the Romans beat him to a pulp, crowning him with a crown of thorns, after the world, the dirty Gentiles, and his own people spit on him, mocking him while we watched helplessly? Who emerges from the wrecks of time victorious? Rejoice, O Israel, rejoice. Emmanuel shall come to you, has come to you. With us, God is here. The Son of David emerges from the wreckage victorious. The house that was knocked down was only under repair. The nation that was slaughtered was only being restored. The throne that was thrown over was only being reestablished. The man who was killed was only being planted to grow, putting down roots into the foundations of eternity. The Son of David emerges from the wreckage, towering over it, beaming with healing in his wings, healing for all us sinners who are wrecked by wrath. The Son of David towers over wrath itself, over darkness and pain, and he shines. Those who were walking in darkness have seen a great light. On them light has shone, even on the Gentiles, even on us here, far from there. How far? A long way away, but not out of the range of the promise of God. Emmanuel, with us, is God. And so you also emerge from your own wreckage, you with God. That is the great gift of God.